Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Today is Sunday, November 22nd, 2020. And today we're going to be talking about President Trump and their legal team and his legal team discussion about the possibility of state legislatures possibly overturning the popular vote, essentially in key battleground states, taking the popular vote and putting it to the side and nominating their own electors, Trump loyalists, to vote in place of those electors on Election Day. Now, in a number of the states that Joe Biden won, the Republican Party has a majority or sometimes a supermajority in the state house, the state senate, pretty much the legislative body of these individual states. And these are the states that really matter for Joe Biden. If he loses, any combination of 3 states or more, it is very possible, if the results had turned out differently, that Donald Trump was reelected. But the situation unfolding is sort of a discussion as to whether or not President Trump can actually push these state legislatures to find a way to take the electors that were predetermined on Election Day or prior to Election Day and pretty much tell them to put in Trump loyalists in place of the Democratic Party's electors. So how could this actually happen? So let's go ahead and take a look at where our current electoral vote stands. A lot of the states, voted the same way as they did in 2016. Obviously, the outcome is significantly different given that Joe Biden is going to be the next president of the United States. But I do want to say that, Donald Trump is really looking to these Republicans in Wisconsin, in Michigan, in Pennsylvania, in Georgia to possibly overturning what was decided by their state's popular vote. And it seems as if this is an attack on, obviously Joe Biden's campaign, but all in all, I guess you could say democracy included, because it's very unfortunate in this situation that the president and their legal team is even discussing possibilities that this could even happen. And technically, it can't. I mean, what could actually change the outcome of this election? Now, the discussion has circulated around some key battleground states. Some of these Republicans, whether they're supporting President Trump, representing President Trump, or coming directly from the Trump White House, are pretty much circulating this idea that these legislators can put aside the state's popular vote. There's a reason why President Trump is meeting with election officials in certain states. And when the state legislatures decide their electors based off the popular vote, they do so by political party. So no, there will not be, let's say if Donald Trump did win New York, Hillary Clinton, who's poised to be an elector for Joe Biden, she would not have to cast her ballot for Donald Trump. Whichever party wins the state, each party submits a list of electors. That way, those electors can actually vote the way that they're supposed to based off the popular vote. They always put in party loyalists, and it wouldn't really make sense if they were to put a Trump-supporting Democrat in some of these states. So when you're looking at the parties in these states, just remember whichever political party wins the state on the national level, that specific political party in the state submits a list of electors that is very different from the list of electors for another state. So Joe Biden won 306 electoral votes. So where is this discussion circulating? Well, Republicans control the legislatures in Arizona. They control it in Georgia. They control it in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. So what is being discussed in this situation? What could actually happen? Well, first things first, nothing. Nothing will fundamentally change from Trump pushing these legislatures to actually move in his favor. But let's say they did. Let's say Biden was able to edge out Arizona, which he already won. But let's say, the legislature there says, we're not doing it. Wisconsin does the same thing. And then Michigan, that puts Biden already at 270. Donald Trump would have to take the legislatures in these states and defy federal law outlined in the Constitution. And I mean that very literally. We'll get to that in a moment. And nominate these electors to vote for Donald Trump. You see, when you're looking at Joe Biden's victory, faithless electors are always a thing. In 2016, Hillary Clinton lost a total of 5 electors due to faithless electors, but also due to the Supreme Court's recent ruling on upholding faithless elector laws. I think that this is a very difficult year for electors to even want to move away from certain candidates. But Donald Trump received 304 electoral votes by the time the final vote was cast. Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton received 227. So a total of 7 faithless electors. Well, take a look at the margin. How many would Donald Trump need from the Joe Biden column in order to win the election? The answer is 37. 37 Democratic Party loyalists that they would need to move over into the Republican column. 37. Think about that. There were 7 in 2016 in a year where people believed they were choosing the lesser of 2 evils. There were a number of anti-Trump Republicans, a number of anti-Clinton Democrats. Only 7? Does that seem, on par? Looking at 2012, 0. Looking at 2008, 0. Looking at 2004, 0. When you're looking at 2020, do you really think that there's going to be any faithless electors, especially in a year where the stakes are so high on both sides? On both sides. And Donald Trump is pretty much trying to say that he wants, these state legislatures in, Michigan, in Wisconsin, in Pennsylvania, where these states determine who the electors are going to be, and every state's party submits their own list, and this is decided 6 days prior to the election. So there's actually a fact check here from USA Today. They outline the entire process. They go through all of the claims. They discuss how this happens, who chooses what, states that are controlled by a Republican legislature, what they will choose to do. But here's the thing. So they have a summary, and I'm going to read it with you. That way we can just talk it over, because essentially what they say, and this is outlined in the article in more detail if you want to read it over. It's on usatoday.com. They released it on the 10th of November because this was being discussed way back then, which seems to be a year ago, but it was really 12 days ago. They rule it as partly false that Republican legislatures could choose the electors, because it is true. It is true that the state legislatures has the power to choose electors for the Electoral College, but it is false to say that the state legislatures hold this authority following Election Day. These electors need to be chosen 6 days before the election. 6 days before the election. And according to the Electoral Count Act, it dictates changing the slate of electors after Election Day is a violation of federal law. Do you think these state legislatures, who may not be as loyal to Trump as Rudy Giuliani or some of the other more outspoken Republican surrogates are, they are not going to jeopardize their entire state legislature's legitimacy? And on top of that, Donald Trump wouldn't just need Georgia. He wouldn't just need Pennsylvania. He would need to win an additional state. And let's say Pennsylvania doesn't go in his way, and Georgia doesn't either. He would need more than Arizona, more than Wisconsin, and he would also need Michigan. You see, the headline here is that Donald Trump is going to need more than just 2 states out of the ones he's really honing in on and trying to contest. Because these state legislatures, while they may be Republican-controlled, are not Trump-controlled. And even if they wanted to have this power, they don't have it. These electors were decided before Election Day, and they cannot unless they want to violate federal law, they cannot replace the list of electors. And even if they wanted to, some of these states have faithless electoral laws where they will say you absolutely cannot vote against the popular vote decision in your state. Absolutely not. And the Supreme Court upheld that. They said that ruling is fine. And you know what that ended up with? Well, a number of these states have now solidified their election laws, so there's going to be a lot less faithless electors. It's been a little bit in limbo for centuries, and now they've ruled that the states can dictate that you must vote for your popular vote winner in this state. So a whole number of things that would just invalidate this argument even being discussed by those in the right wing. I think that this is really unfortunate, though. Can you imagine if you were a swing voter who may have voted for Trump in 2016, may have voted for Biden in this election, and now the state legislature is telling you that you committed voter fraud, or telling you that there won't be an elector that will be representing you? Or let's say, for example, the roles were reversed and you were a Republican in Florida and Donald Trump won Florida. You voted for Donald Trump, and the Democratic state legislature was telling you that Florida is going to vote blue just because they believe that the election was rigged. The problem with this state legislature play, it wouldn't really be constitutional friendly even if there was voter fraud, but because the fact that there is zero evidence makes it that much more unbelievable that this is even in discussion. It's not possible based off our Constitution. It's not possible based off our federal law. It's not possible based off what these state legislature heads are telling us. The speakers, the majority leaders on the Republican side are telling everyone, this isn't going to happen. We're not going to change the outcome of the election. Trump is reaching out to them personally, asking them to come to the White House. They're still responding the same way. So all in all, these Republicans are pushing back on Trump. They're telling him, this isn't going to happen. And not only would Trump need to win over a few states, it would just be statistically impossible. So there isn't much to worry about if you're on the Biden side. This can't even happen, even if you wanted it to be. It just looks as if Trump is trying every avenue in order to win a second term, but realistically, there just isn't anything more to do. It seems to be game over, absolutely done. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to comment down suggestions below. Subscribe on the left if you haven't already, and check out the Instagram and Twitter. At the bottom left of the screen, there's also a Discord server for you to go ahead and join. On the screen, there's a video you can watch and then a playlist for my 2020 post-election videos. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow.